Good morning, Eric Wonderboom here, getting ready here to do a little stain on our countertops that I got prepped yesterday. Got them sitting out here again. This isn't the optimal situation, being out but the wind is calm and shouldn't be too bad. We'll have to just keep an eye out for, again, it's more worrisome with the polyurethane side of things because that's real sticky stain. It doesn't really hurt much if it gets a little bit on it, but I'm going to touch up a little bit of my sanding, make sure I'm ready to go, and then we'll get some stain on these beautiful counters. So yeah, we got the Varathane Premium Gel Stain. It's kind of nice because it's a little more gooey. It doesn't run as much. And again, here's our flooring. So that was a test piece that I did on some yesterday, and it's a little redder. If I have to do a second coat, or we'll see, try to match it. It doesn't have to be dead on, but it's we want to get it fairly close so the floor and the countertop's similar. But it's a nice, easy gel wiping stain. So what you do is take a fairly clean rag, dip it in, has a real nice thick consistency, and start wiping it in. This end grain will hold it, absorb a lot of it. So I'm gonna hit that a little extra fast, but on the end grain like that, you want to try to really work it down in there, get all the nooks and crannies. Oop. Cut that out. I should be wearing gloves, but I don't have any, so. All right, little pro tip here quick for while you're doing any kind of staining like this. You know, you want to be, filling up your rag pretty consistently with the material and putting it on. What you want to do is, instead of, basically starting here at the end and kind of filling up like here, and then moving forward and doing another section here, you're going to get those locations of the stain will be overlapping this way, and what you end up with is kind of thick blotchy sections every time where you've been doing it. So if you go along the grain line like this, kind of work your way back and forth along the grain, those overlaps are going to be a lot easier to blend in when they're right along with the grain of the wood. Another nice thing, again, I like about this the gel like this is, again, you can see how it's, when it first goes on, you get these little streaks and blotches and stuff, and then what you can do is you just kind of keep on wiping it, and then it just slowly works its way right down into the grain real nice, and then you're good to go. Disappears a lot easier. So again, what you do is get a nice even coat like that, keep on working it in, and then keep working along the grain, and then at the end you go back with a clean one, which you saw in the previous piece, and wipe off the excesses, like where you got stuff here, and basically anywhere where it's goobed up and gotten a little thicker, you wipe that excess stuff off, and then if you're going to do a second coat, you got to let it dry according to the directions on the can. Do a second coat, otherwise just a light, touch, and it's ready for polyurethane. So okay, we're gonna do our, Gina had her existing sink from her previous build that is a 14 by 16, which is the, well, it's actually, I mean, the main bowl itself is 13 by 15, and the lip itself is 15 by 17. So the hole that I cut is 14 by 16, so that, and it's an undermount sink. So I'm laying out for how to put it on and remount the undermount, and the hardware for it is this type of hardware here. Basically, you pre-drill a hole for this little piece. Get that off of there. Right? So you pre-drill a hole the size of this diameter, maybe a tiny bit bigger, and then you pound it down in, and then these teeth hold it in place. And then this piece goes to on the lip like that and holds it in place with the hole going in there. So I'm laying out for where that has to go, and so I'm marking my outer marking here so that I get it centered exactly on the hole where we want it. So again, that's 15 by 17, and I just marked that, just measured for that. Now I'm going to do some lines so that I get it right where we want it. Basically, again, this little piece, you have to pre-drill a hole to have this and then pound it in there, and then this part screws into it to hold it in place. And I'm assuming that this part with the L shape kind of goes like that towards our sink this way. Couple things, again, I laid it out. There's 6 of these, so you can put 2 on 2 sides and 1 on one side. I was going to put 2 on the sides and 1 on the front and back, but this is where the sink or the faucet's got to go. So you don't want to have one of these things sitting right there and potentially interfere with where your faucet's going to install. So I did instead came in 2 inches from the ends here and here on the side, and then I'm going to do 1 in the middle on the sides. I've marked those out, and I've come off a 3/8 of an inch away from the edge of the sink like that, so that you can see that gives me room for the screw to actually go down through and do what it's got to do. So I've pre-marked all these. And now, if you don't have a drill press or you don't have a more controlled situation, a little pro tip, I only want to go in 3/8 of an inch deep. We don't want to go all the way through our countertop, obviously, and put a nice big hole in the top and the beautiful countertop. So what you do is mark down 3/8 of an inch from the edge, take a little tape, throw it on the edge there, and that's how you know how deep you want to go. And so you just got to be careful holding it, make sure it's nice and straight up and down, and get yourself right where you want it. And I'm kind of pushing, but not really hard, because sometimes these bits can grab and take off on you. So going as far as my little tape line is. And so now we know how deep this little guy is going to go, so I'll pound that in there and do that on the rest, and we should be good to go. So you pre-drill, these are used so they're a little beat up, but you pound them into the hole like that, and then you're able to thread the piece right inside of them. All right, so before you put your undermount sink on, you want to seal the edge around where it's going to go. I'm going to use 100% silicone, and I've got my paint thinner ready to go to clean it up. You want to have a real paint thinner or acetone ready to go. Don't go too crazy, but I'm going to put a bead all the way around here so that when we set it on there and tighten it, it squeezes it all in and seals up real good all around the edge there. So I'm going to go ahead and put a nice, whoop, come on. again, that's why another reason you want your lines on there, so that you know you don't want to where to put your caulk and where to set the sink back down when you go to put it on or put it in. Okay, silicone will make it want to, you'll kind of want to skate around a little bit, so push it down, get it in the ballpark to where you want it, and then start installing your down. So yeah, that threads down into that little piece that we put in. So that threads as far, go ahead and thread it as far in as you can get it first to start. And then this nut here is what'll do the fine tuning of the tightening. So this side. Take that all the way around, and then we'll flip it over and clean up the caulk. All right, so you can see, if you look up close, see now how that silicone's kind of oozing through and it's kind of funky and ugly. What you want to do is use paint thinner, and be plenty of it, but get a bunch on the towel, wrap it tight around your finger, and wipe off that excess. So.
Huh.
Keep wiping until you get all of it off that you want to get off of there. And again, silicone can be a real pain in the butt to get all over yourself, so don't be afraid to use some paper towels and plenty of paint thinner. So you wipe off that excess. So you get a nice clean sink. And the silicone, you don't even know it's there. It's just kind of in the corner doing its job. Alright, so don't have to get too carried away, but get a nice clean edge. You don't get a big globs of silicone sticking out. And you can use that same paint thinner to clean the silicone off your hands.